Welcome back. The SGX Nifty is indicating that we'll have a slightly positive start. In fact, 8920 from the futures level, just about 40 points higher. But the Reliance's rights issue is opening today, so that's of course going to be a big talking point. First, let me go across to Sonia to explain this, and then of course we'll have Devin Choksi also joining us. Sonia, first you explain to us.
Thanks, Anuj, for that. As we know, this is the biggest ever fundraising by a single company, and it aims to make Reliance debt-free by March 2021. Now, as you said, the rights issue opens today and closes on the 3rd of June. The rights entitlement is 1 share for every 15 shares of Reliance Industries that you hold. Now, the rights is priced at 1257 rupees a share, which is an 11% discount to the current market price. Now, here's what will happen. Subscribers in the first tranche will have to pay about 314 rupees a share now. Reliance announced that it will call for another 25% in May of 2021, and the balance 50% will be called for in November of 2021. That is about 628.5 rupees a share. So the first tranche will be a call of only about 25%. Subscribers will have to pay 314 rupees a share. The remaining $5.2 billion uncalled amount will flow into the company only in FY22. Now, the right holders will be able to trade their entitlement on a separate window on the exchanges till the 29th of May, where holders can sell and renounce their entitlement. And this is the first time that, this is a testing of the platform that's being done of trading the rights issue entitlements. I remember SEBI had introduced this earlier this year. So it's very interesting to see how this plays out. The credit of the rights shares will be on the 11th of June and the listing date is on the 12th of June. Back to you.
Okay, Sonia. Yeah, that's interesting. Remember this trading, has happened in grey market always. It's the first time it's happening now on the official platform. So that's why it will be interesting to see if it's a big market opening up. Devin Choksi is now joining us from Kia Choksi. Devin, good morning. So first of all, you tell us what would be your advice to retail investors, those who have the entitlement to participate in the rights?
Yes, Anuj, good morning. Clearly, I think it's a good opportunity to participate. Couple of reasons. First, I think the fundamental side, Reliance under the mobility solution on the Jio platform has already achieved the annualized EBITDA of around 10,000 crores. With the rollout of the fiber to home and also enterprise solutions eventually in this year, I think one is expected to see, I think in 21-22 financial year, and EBITDA jumping up double from current levels of 10,000 crores on annualized basis to 20,000 crore plus on annualized basis. So that's going to be the first fundamental point, I think, which is going to be driving strong as far as I think the argument for subscribing to right issue is concerned. Of course, I think 25% of money to be paid now and 25% of money in May 21 and balance 50% of money in November 21. So I think that helps you in planning your investment across, I think, for 1.5 years. So which is again, I think, a very, very positive as far as I think investor is concerned. Third, the right issues are getting listed with a separate ISIN. So obviously, I think even if it is partly paid, you are allowed to trade going forward. So all put together, I think one more important point, which I take the key takeaway from the finance minister's, I think, announcement in the last weekend, wherein I think they said that Indian companies without remaining listed on India market, I think could go and list, I think, in the overseas market. So possibility of Jio platform kind of company going into the overseas market and probably fetching better valuation can't be ruled out. So going forward, I think the investors would have the opportunity through Reliance Industries as shareholders of Reliance Industries, an opportunity to find better valuation of Jio platform as and when it gets listed. So I think overall the structure looks, I think, quite convincing. Reliance Industries remains holding company, Jio platform, retail, and O2C. These three companies remaining operating companies. So typically, I think the structure remains quite convincing for investors from all perspectives.
Okay. Devin, good morning. Even the renunciation gets traded on the exchange?
That's right. I think this is what is understood, that renunciation will be allowed to be traded on the exchange, and the cutoff date would be, I think, 29th of this month. So till that point of time, I think this particular trade will take place. So I do not know how much premium one could fetch on renunciation, but I guess I think the trading definitely is happening on this particular side.
Oh, I guess there will be some premium, but in that case, the even the both the rights, the partly paid rights, and the renunciation should be an ongoing trading, right? Even in the when the subsequent call comes.
So once I think the renunciation offer gets over on 29th, I think then the
Then it
partly paid
ends.
right,
Okay.
then partly paid right, I think will get traded. So yes, I think
Okay.
today you will have the renunciation getting traded. Yes.
Okay. And how do you value the rights?
I think it won't be too much different, Lata. I think from what exactly I think you see underlying Reliance's valuation as. Suppose if the valuation of 5 lakh crore is established for Jio platform, and I think the balance businesses are commanding a balanced 5 lakh crore worth of valuation, I think the arbitrage difference between the right and the main shares will continue to operate. Because I think right as such, I think is only 6% of the equity dilution. So I think not much of a difference that one can expect between the two. But yes, I think there will be some arbitrage difference between the two for sure.
Okay. Can you also explain to us how one can actually trade in this window? Because we are getting a lot of queries on that. If you can just, take us through what the steps are.
So Sonia, I would like to wait for I think today's I think subscription activity starts happening because it is happening for the first time. Every one of us, including the bankers, are going to be experiencing this particular subject of subscription for the first time. And I think we have been similarly querying to the exchanges. So obviously, I think we will get the relatively good answer, I think, coming from their side. Maybe once the window opens up today, maybe a better position would be to talk to you, I think, little later in the day.
Oh yes, that I think would be a better thing to do. Devan, let's not now talk about some other stocks. Bajaj Finance. Now it's back to its March lows. How do you approach this stock now after the earnings and the management commentary?
So Anuj, I think the yesterday's management commentary was probably far more confident than the commentary that we heard on 6th of April. I think they're relatively having better handle on the subject, it looks like. I think they have provided maximum for, I think, the moratorium related loans. And they have also been, I think, remaining extraordinarily cautious in extending the new loans in the current period. So as I have been saying earlier also, and I think would like to maintain that April to June quarter is going to be a washout quarter. I think this quarter is not likely to give any benefits to majority of the companies, including I think Bajaj Finance. So they have also indicated in some way they would probably like to conserve the capital, which they are doing sensibly at this point of time. And that is what my argument would be, that those who conserve the capital at this point of time, they will have a better business to field about. I think rest of the businesses, including the retail credits, including the moratorium on the housing assets, etc., I think it's going to probably resume its operation systematically, I think, in the second quarter. I believe that July to September would be, in my viewpoint, a recovery quarter. And then probably I think we should be seeing the normal quarter in October to December. So this is the time, I think, when you will have to see how the company manages its, I think, the capital and preserve it properly. I would relatively remain more cautious. Maybe I think in the corrective fall in the market due to any kind of reason would be an opportunity to add this stock into the portfolio.
Okay. Why don't you catch your breath, Deven? We have recorded the Bajaj Finance conference call. We are just playing out some key bites and then coming back to you with more questions.
On our fixed OPEX, we've knocked off anywhere between 22 to 24% of our fixed OPEX in the last 60 days for us as a company. Rightfully, we've also suspended all new branch expansion. Despite that, company has very strong pre-provision profitability to navigate through the potential risk emerging from COVID-19. I think that's an important point, that do we have sufficient profitability to sustain shocks? And COVID is, if anything, but a once in 100-year shock. 27% of consolidated AUM as of April 30th is under moratorium at this point in time. Of this 27%, 68%, or let's say round up to 70%, have no recent bounce history. No recent bounce history being defined as in Jan, February, March, they did not default. Scenario planning takes into account all the lines that you see written here. Clearly the focus of, or the modeling is essentially focused on the moratorium portfolio.
Okay. Deven, so therefore, how are you pricing the share now? Do you think it's in its journey from 5,000 to 1,900, it has priced in this kind of expected low growth FY21 already? You think it doesn't have much downside, even if the upsides will come later?
So I think that the by and large the fall has happened. Maybe the premium valuation of the company, which used to be somewhere around 6.5 to 7 times price to book value, has already come down to around 3.25 times price to book value. And anything below that, I think, would definitely mean that opportunity would exist for the investors to buy further into the portfolio. And as I was making a point that we are expecting the normal situation to return in the second half of the financial year, also understanding from the management and the commentary, I feel that I think this would be a good time to buy if the stock gives below 3 times price to book value. I think as a valuation in the market due to for any reasons. So that would be, I think, gradual accumulation opportunity into the portfolio.
Okay. Devin, do stay on. We are continuing to have, going to continue to have a bigger discussion on